Coming up next on OLN, two ranches that seem a world apart. One has occupied 100,000 acres in the Sandhills of Nebraska for almost 120 years. It's unique because the ways of the old ranch are still the standard today. The other ranch has survived in the high desert country of New Mexico. Belly-deep grass is unheard of here. This ranch was built on grit and determination, and today, just like when it was founded 85 years ago, success or failure is closely tied to the weather. Award-winning ranches is the focus on this America's Horse.
America's Horse, the international report on the world's most versatile equine breed, the American Quarter Horse.
Hi, I'm Jeff Metters. On this edition of America's Horse, we will tour two very different ranches. Both have won the AQHA Bayer Best Remuda Award. Both have great ranch horses. Both take a lot of pride in their cattle. But that's where the similarities end. There is a ranch in northwest Nebraska that takes a page directly out of the Old West. The Haythorn Land and Cattle Company is a real working ranch, and the American Quarter Horse is still its most valuable tool. Covering 100,000 acres, Craig Haythorn now tends to business on a ranch founded by his great-grandfather back in 1884. The AQHA honored this ranch as its inaugural winner of the AQHA Bayer Best Remuda Award, recognizing the Haythorn Land and Cattle Company for its production of the American Quarter Horse for ranch use.
To start with, I almost didn't send the application in because I didn't think maybe we'd even be considered for 3 or 4 years, but I guess it's pretty hard to put in words what it does mean to the family, and I know it was a great honor for us and my dad when he received it in Arizona, because he's spent a lifetime, putting it together.
Bogle Limited consists of 3 individual ranches: Turkey Track, 4 Lakes, and Corona. Together, they make up 820 sections in the rugged country of southeastern New Mexico, near the towns of Artesia and Dexter.
High desert. A lot of mesquite, a lot of shinnery.
This country down here is, we got a lot of sand country and hard country too, and it's big pastures. We used to ride 2 horses a day. We've some of these pastures, we cut them in 2, but we still got 30, 40 section pastures.
If you're ranching in this part of the country, it'll keep you humble because you have to deal with things that you have absolutely no control over at all. You got to be flexible and really be able to roll with the punches that this country deals you. You have to stock your ranch pretty conservatively if you want to hang on to it, because this whole country will sneak up on you and get you if you think it's better than it really is.
Grass here is scarce. Every year, it takes an average of a section or 640 acres to feed 10 head of cattle. Rainfall can vary from 2 to 18 inches a year. The erratic climate makes ranching seem more like a gamble.
When it rains, it's good, and when it doesn't rain, it's bad. When we have rain, you can stock it, and when we don't have rain, 1 cow's 1 too many. That's pretty much the best way to explain it.
Despite the challenges of weather, Bogle Limited is 3 generations strong and making a turn into a new millennium with plenty of momentum. When America's Horse returns, we'll take a closer look at these 2 unique ranches, different in terms of climate, daily operations, and history. But the tie that binds is the American Quarter Horse.
America's Horse is brought to you by Ford, no boundaries. By the Bayer Corporation, makers of quality animal health products. By MBNA America, the official credit card of AQHA. and by the American Quarter Horse Association. Let freedom ride.
Welcome back to America's Horse. Nebraska is one of the few states in this country where the cattle actually outnumber the people. In the northwest corner of the state, you'll find the Haythorn Land and Cattle Company. If you think the Old West is something that just exists in Hollywood, think again. Riding the range is in the job description when you sign on at the Haythorn Land and Cattle Company, founded in 1884. Expectations are high for both cowboy and horse alike. This spring, Haythorn Ranch hands will cover an 85 square mile radius on horseback, gathering and working thousands of head of cattle. With that in mind, it's easy to see why the most valuable player on this ranch is the American Quarter Horse. The Haythorn Land and Cattle Company was one of the first to breed and register American Quarter Horses in the state of Nebraska. Today, the workday begins and ends with the ranch horse. Gathering the 125 head remuda and making horse assignments for the day is the first order of business. From there, the horse carries the cowboy through the Sandhills, gathering the herd. But the workday for horse and rider is just getting started. The American Quarter Horse is used to sort cattle and rope and bring calves to the fire. No doubt, the horses here are versatile. Each ranch hand is assigned between 8 and 12 head. Part of their responsibility includes bringing each horse up to Haythorn par.
I guess you want him to track a calf and watch a cow. Try to get them gentle. Most of them come around pretty quick and get gentle. And guess you can't ask for much more than that. You want him to be your friend.
Want one that kind of follow a cow, calf, so you can, rope or doctor one. Try to have a good mind in them, not wanting to hurt you. You don't want a mean one, just a good, solid one. One that treats you right and you treat them right.
The day starts early, usually around 5 a.m. Before breakfast, the 125 head remuda is brought in, and now all that stands between the cowboys and a tough day of riding are a few pancakes and a cup of coffee. Following breakfast, Craig Haythorn takes his rope and makes his way through the remuda, picking and roping the mount for each ranch hand. Then it's time to saddle up and round up the herd. The Haythorn Land and Cattle Company covers some 85 square miles, and that means some serious saddle time. An average workday usually includes working 2 herds of cattle. Traditions die hard here. There are no fancy catch pens, no holding chutes. A branding fire is built, and while some hands rope calves and bring them to the fire, others wait to throw the calves, and the doctoring begins. Lunchtime also follows tradition. All of the cooking is done out of the chuck wagon. Cast iron pots hang over the fire. After filling up on some of the best food you've ever tasted, the ranch hands catch a few Z's before setting out for the afternoon herd. Several times a week, camp is broken down and moved closer to where the next herds of cattle wait. It looks like a modern-day Oregon Trail. The wagons are packed and loaded, and teams of draft horses and mules supply the power to get to the next campsite. Craig Haythorn has gone out of his way to keep tried and true traditions alive, and his efforts have not gone unappreciated. No one that works at the Haythorn Land and Cattle Company would ever dream of changing their job descriptions.
Well, you need to be able to ride a horse, make a good horse out of him, make a hand on a horse and work on a windmill or dig post holes and stretch wire. Somewhat you might have to work on a tractor, nobody likes to, but once in a while you got to, or change oil on a pickup. Just a little bit of everything.
When we come back, we'll move from the lush sandhills of Nebraska to the arid, high desert of New Mexico. Ranching there has a totally different feel. America's Horse will be right back. Welcome back to America's Horse. In Nebraska, you have to contend with the cold, hard winter. In the high desert country of New Mexico, it's the long, hot summer. For Bogle Limited, the perils of ranching are just the tip of the iceberg. Southeastern New Mexico is some of the toughest country that you will find anywhere. Ranching here requires a unique kind of determination. Bogle Limited is the vision of the late Hal Bogle. He came to New Mexico in 1917 from his native Tennessee. He was a horse trader, and as Bogle continued to practice his trade, he slowly put together the pieces of one of the largest ranches in New Mexico. Hal Bogle loved horses. Today at ranch headquarters in Dexter, New Mexico, his passion for ranching and racing lives on. And while the win pictures have added up through the years, it's the foundation of ranch horses created by Bogle that has sparked interest of late.
We try to raise a kind of a mid-size horse with good disposition and good soundness and good qualities for what we do.
We look for horses that have a smooth gait and have a good leg underneath them, and they're just, you know, pretty sound all the way around, good disposition, and have some pretty good cow instincts.
We try to get 15 hands to 15-2, good solid gelding out of them, and we use most of them. We sell a few. We don't have quite as big a remuda as we used to have, but we've got a lot better remuda than we used to have, because most of the horses we've got out here, you can just go do about anything you want to on.
This is Doc and Colonel. He's the daddy of all them colts that we were over just filming. He's a Colonel Freckles bred. I have a Doc Barn mare. And he's sure been a good one.
Today, Hal's grandsons, Stuart, Donald, and Scott, work the ranch while sharing ownership with their two sisters.
Oh, it works out all right. My responsibility is mostly this ranch, and then I have some responsibility on the farm and handle the hay and stuff. Donald, my brother, he takes care of the Corona Ranch, and he handles the feedlot. And Scott, he takes care of that Four Lakes Ranch, and he kind of handles some of the farming activities also.
Bogle Limited is divided into 3 ranches and 5 individual camps. It is primarily a cow-calf operation. The remuda consists of close to 60 geldings, and scattered all through the 3 ranches are brood mares and babies. Waylon Newberry signed on with the Bogles back in 1966. As the current Turkey Track Ranch foreman, he misses the good old days when there were very few fences. Newberry can't imagine working at a smaller ranch.
This is 640 sections, and I guess I've been here so long it don't even seem that big, and I couldn't quite figure on working at any place any littler, any smaller.
In winning the Best Remuda Award, Bogle Limited joins a very exclusive list, one that includes some of the largest and most historic ranches in this country's history. This is not an award to be taken lightly.
It means a lot to us. We've been doing this for years and years and years, and in 3 generations now, and it really means a lot to us. We're real proud of our horses, and I know Stuart's real proud of all the work he's done as far as the breeding program and the pedigrees and the research.
It was a surprise, really.
It's a real honor to receive an award like this. I don't know, it's an honor to receive it, but I don't know if I can really take a whole lot of credit for it. It's more the people that work for us and the horses ourselves, I think, that the award is for.
Ranching in this part of the world is tough. This is where the antelope play, but that doesn't mean it's easy for horses or cattle. For the Bogles, it's not about the money. It's about carrying on the tradition of their past generations. It's about living life the way they want to live it.
If you don't enjoy doing this business, there's no way you'll ever be successful at it, because if we sold all the ranches and farms that we manage, we would put the money in some sort of a CD type thing or some sort of investment type deal, that the return on our investment would be way more than what it is by just trying to do it. It's something we enjoy doing, and we just like to do it. It's a wonderful place to raise your family, and it's just what we like to do.
Still to come, a look at all the past winners of the AQHA Bayer Best Remuda Award. Different ranches from different parts of the country, but they all have one thing in common. America's Horse will be right back.
America's Horse is brought to you by MB&A America, the official credit card of AQHA. By Ford, no boundaries. By the Bayer Corporation, makers of quality animal health products. And by Wrangler, the official jeans and shirts of AQHA.
If you look back at the AQHA Bayer Best Remuda Award, the history and the horses that go along with the past winners are truly remarkable. Going in chronological order, the first to win was the Haythorn Land and Cattle Company in 1992. In 1993, the storied 4-6 Ranch of Guthrie, Texas was honored with the award. Founded in 1870 by Captain Samuel Burke Burnett, the ranch has stayed in the family ever since. Covering almost 500,000 acres of tough West Texas plains, the Sixes produces a tough brand of ranch horse.
We're looking for a horse that has a great deal of stamina, outstanding speed. He's got to have a lot of strength and endurance. The terrain is rough. Some of it is rocky, and they've got to have a lot of agility. They've got to have a lot of cow sense, naturally, to work here on the ranch with all the cattle work we have to do.
Another Texas ranch was the AQHA Bayer Best Remuda Award winner in 1994. The Wagner Ranch has the distinction of being the largest ranch in the United States under one fence. Established in the mid-1800s, it is now more than 500,000 acres strong. The W.T. Wagner estate believes there is a strong correlation between a good horse and a good cowboy.
Well, we have a lot of cowboys, and we still work all of our cattle horseback, so it's indeed, we really need good horses, and if you have good horses, you're going to have good employees. Good employees don't like, and they can't do a good job on horses that are not good horses, so we really depend on these horses a lot.
In 1995, the Stuart Ranch became the first Oklahoma ranch to win the award. The Stuart Ranch covers the better part of 3 southern Oklahoma counties. Its history in the Sooner State actually begins before Oklahoma joined the Union.
We have the oldest ranch in the state of Oklahoma under continuous family ownership. It was founded in 1868 by my great-great-grandfather. It was in Indian Territory, and my family has been here since then. I am the 5th generation to be involved in this ranch, and so it's a great deal of pride and heritage that I, as manager of this operation, am responsible for.
The award stayed in Oklahoma in 1996. This time, it was the Barbie Ranch located in the state's panhandle. The Barbie Ranch is also a family-run operation. The ranch history also goes back more than a century. It started with just 160 acres and 75 steers. Today, it covers more than 130,000 acres, and its steer number is greater than 5,000. The Barbie family also boasts a remuda that is second to none.
We enjoy trying to raise the ideal ranch horse that suits us, that does what we doctor outside a lot, do a lot of roping outside with our yearling operation. So we like to raise a horse that's stout and is easy to rope on.
The R.A. Brown Ranch was selected as the AQHA Bayer Best Remuda winner in 1997. Located in Throckmorton, Texas, a sleepy town just an hour north of Abilene, the Brown family ranches 84,000 acres with some 1,900 head of cattle. The R.A. Brown Ranch is home to 50 geldings, 40 broodmares, and 5 stallions, all chiseled out of the foundation bloodlines of the AQHA itself. Impressive, but it doesn't top the Brown bragging list.
I guess what makes this ranch unique and special is that we're a family business and have been since 1895. We work together, all of us involved in the family business, and plan to keep it that way for quite some time, for as long as we can.
In 1998, the Pitchfork Ranch became the 4th Texas ranch to win this coveted award. Located next door to the 4 Sixes Ranch in Guthrie, Texas, the Pitchfork has had no problem carving out its own niche in this historic ranching country. Manager Bob Morehouse is also a world-class photographer. His favorite subject is the award-winning horses that are just a part of this ranch's esteemed reputation.
We're after the all-around ranch horse, and that's simple. I mean, I don't want to sound funny, but we want one that can run fast enough to catch a cow, turn a cow. We don't want a race horse necessarily. We want one to watch a cow, cut a cow, and we want one stout enough to stop a cow. If you rope him, you want to stop him.
Bogle Limited was the first ranching operation to win from the state of New Mexico, but they would not be alone for long. In 2000, the award was claimed by the CS Cattle Company. Later this summer on America's Horse, we'll pay a visit to this ranch, which sits in scenic Springer, New Mexico. Like all of our past winners, we'll find out what makes their brand of ranch horse so special. That's later this summer, but on our next America's Horse, we'll see what happens when a cow horse goes to town. It's the $50,000 National Range Cow Horse Association 4-year-old Snaffle Bit Stakes. Most of these horses competed in the NRCHA Futurity last fall. They are ready for another test now that they are a year older. Cow Horses in Competition comes your way next week here on OLN. That's the show. We'll see you again next Tuesday on America's Horse. For more information about American quarter horse activities in your area, call 1-800-414-RIDE or log on to our website at www.aqha.com. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.